Evening guys, welcome to another devotional. Today we're going to be continuing on through the Armour of God series that we've been doing for the past few weeks. And today we're going to be in verse 16 of Ephesians chapter 6, which says, "In addition to all these, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil." I nearly said animals. So all these pieces of armour here that Paul's mentioning before he gets to verse 16, all these pieces of armour are good and, any soldier should be wearing them, but it's missing a shield, and that's what Paul's pointing out here. He's saying, in addition to all these things, get your shield. Make sure you have a shield. Because without that shield, things are going to hit us, and even if we're wearing that body armour, it's going to hit us, we're going to notice it, it's going to impact us. It might not take us out, but it might push us back and it might hold us back from being able to achieve certain objectives, being able to go where we need to go. And it's the same for a soldier. That's why Paul's saying, hey, take the shield, because any soldier needs a good shield in order to be able to fight properly and to enable them to achieve the objectives efficiently and effectively. So he's speaking of the shield that any soldier would need as they go out to battle, especially in those times when the armor looked different than it did today. Today, shielding is built into a whole bunch of different things. Back then, you had this body armor, and then you had this separate shield. Some shields would look a bit different. Some would be square-shaped, and they'd cover the entire body. Some would be, these small shields that they'd kind of crouch down behind. There would be shields that enable the soldier to be able to protect them from whatever the enemy would be throwing at them. And here, Paul speaks of the fiery arrows that are coming against them. And it's these same arrows that are going to be coming against us. Now, faith is that shield that Paul is speaking about for us. On our behalf, that faith is what is stopping those fiery arrows from actually getting to us. Now, those shields didn't simply just stop those fiery arrows and then set the whole shield ablaze. No, they would actually extinguish those fiery arrows at the same time. So it rendered them completely useless, it rendered them ineffective now, and they were completely harmless. So the enemy will continue to throw all of these fiery arrows at us as we try and go throughout this life, as we try and walk the walk that the Lord's calling us to, as we fight the good fight. And the enemy's going to continue to throw these things at us. It could be fear, it could be loneliness, it could be impatience, it could be weariness, it could be distractions. There are so many different tactics that the enemy uses to try and get at us, to try and stop us from going where the Lord's calling us to go, to try and just hinder us in any possible way, because he doesn't want us to be following the Lord. He wants to drag us down with him because he knows he's going down. So to fear, faith is that shield that says that God is greater. We read that in Hebrews 13 verse 6. To loneliness, faith is that shield that says God is with us always. And we read that again just the verse above in Hebrews 13 verse 5. To impatience, faith says to just wait on God. We read that similarly in Psalm 46 verse 10. To weariness, faith is the shield that says that he's strong in our weakness, that actually says, hey, don't rely on your own strength. Rely on God's strength. Don't get weary doing good. We see these things throughout the epistles especially, and moreover in 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. And to distractions, one of the big things that the enemy will throw us a lot of the time, faith is the shield that says, seek first the kingdom. And that's Matthew 6 verse 33. So faith is that shield that we need to have at all times, that we need to take up and to hold up, so that we can actually extinguish and we can render all of these tactics that the enemy is using completely useless. So that's the encouragement for each and every one of us, including myself tonight, to hold up the shield of faith, to remember God's promises, and to have faith in him and his word that never fails. So God bless you guys.